Hey everyone. So this is not going to be a pretty video, and I am pretty triggered. I know that's like the new buzzword or whatever, but I just needed to rant because I've been holding a lot of things in, and like I started doing some throat chakra work, and I feel like I'm really getting my voice back. And I know that if I'm going through this, that there are other people going through it. So like, I'm just gonna let it fly, and this probably will be really disorganized. But anyway, here it goes. My kids today had a sing-along at school, and that is a challenging thing in itself because I'm someone who is immunocompromised, right? So like, I love that my kids can go to school. I want them to be involved in school. I don't want to have to homeschool them. You know, I've considered it a couple times, and every time I do, they get so upset. So I let them go to school knowing that like we mask, we get our vaccines and everything. But every day that I send them out into the world, I'm rolling the dice with their health, with my health, with like my family's health. But I do the best that I can to manage that anxiety, living in a world that really doesn't care about people who are disabled and immunocompromised. And I have battled some guilt with the couple times that like I felt pressured, or not even pressured, like internal pressure, and like I've gone out and done things like without a mask, and it's been like 2 or 3 times where I felt like, oh, this might be okay, you know, because we were doing events with other people, you know, and I declined things so much because like out of fear of getting sick and not wanting to get other people sick, you know, and then just like dealing with the internal shame of like doing things that I know like compromise everything that I believe in. So it's like, I'm trying to live right. I'm trying to do things, you know, that align with my values. And I just lost it today. There's my kitty cat. Aurora, can you get down? Come here, baby. So anyway, I went to their sing-along for Christmas today. And like at first, I was sick last week. I had the flu. So like I'm still recovering, and I was really anxious about going, and you know, I'm still really tired. So I got up this morning and my daughter was asking about it, and I was like, well, honey, like, I don't want to be sick for Christmas. So I'm really wondering whether or not I should go so that like I can make your favorite Christmas meal. She loves my macaroni and cheese. Stop, Aurora. Like, we want to have a good time, you know, and it's like, I'm constantly calculating these things, making these kind of compromises, like, you know, if I do this, like I run the risk of being sick for this other thing, you know, and like, is it worth it to do this thing and then possibly be sick for the thing that I know is coming? Or like, should I just not miss out in the hopes that things are gonna work out and be okay? And like today is really hitting me, like, and I know I've known this for a while, but like just how unfair that is, you know, for everyone. No one should have to live this way, but especially for people who are like immunocompromised and who are disabled, because we are the forgotten ones. Nobody cares about us. And I got to the assembly early so that I could get a seat, and I assumed, you know, I was upset. I've been calling the school board about like having more social distancing, have more like virtual options for things. Like, they don't listen, they just blow you off. But I assumed they would at least be socially distancing. Like, I saw some papers on chairs, so I was like, okay, cool, I'll sit in the front. And then more and more people start coming and sitting close to me, so then I move over, and then like there are no more seats, so I move to the back, and then people move close to me, and then I ask them nicely, like, just please, can you move over so I can have a seat on each side? And then a teacher came in and asked everybody to like pack in so there were enough seats. And then I just lost. I got up. I mean, I wasn't rude to anybody, but I told the teachers, I was like, this is unfair. Like, I got here early, and now like I moved from the front to the back, and you guys are packing everybody in, and I'm immunocompromised, and like, this is like my opportunity as well to spend time like at an event to see my children, I have just as much of a right to be here as anyone else and to do it as safely as possible. So like I went and stood on the side, and then they were nice enough to like get me a chair that was closer and off to the side. But then, you know, by the time it started, which was later because parents are still flowing in, you know, it was supposed to start at 8 and it's like almost 9 o'clock, and then it's 9:30. So like I'm sitting here like getting more and more anxious by the second, and like I'm autistic, I'm ADHD, I have PTSD and like high anxiety. So like this starts to feel like I can't escape, you know, because my daughter is counting on me to be here. If she doesn't see my face, she's gonna think I abandoned her, you know, and I don't want to do that to my kid. I don't want to do that. I want to be there. I don't want to look back on my life and think like I missed that, you know. So I'm doing my best. Like when people come stand close, I'm like really nicely like, please, I'm immunocompromised, like can you just give me a little bit of space? Like I asked them like if I could have some room, because I got here early so that I could socially distance, and I didn't know that they weren't doing that. And a couple people were really nice about it, but then like by the time it was almost ready to start, there was a lady who came and like stood right next to my chair, and I asked her the same thing, and she's like, well, I'm here to see my kid. I'm here to see my child. And I was like, so am I, you know, and I'm trying not to die. I'm trying to do it as safely as possible, and I would just appreciate, you know, I got here early enough to try to get a good seat, you know, that you would please just give me a little bit of space. She's like, how much space do you think you need? Like, I'm here for my kid. And I'm just like, look, I'm not trying to start anything with you. You know, I shouldn't have to go through all of that, like the stress, just to be like a part of my kid's life, like, or just to participate in anything. You know, it's overwhelming. I don't have a problem speaking up for myself, but I don't need to fight every time I go out, like, you know, and like be worried if somebody's gonna like take what I say wrong and start some shit with me, you know. But I stayed, you know, I saw my daughter's 2 songs. I saw my son, like he's in pre-K, it's his first thing. I saw one of his songs, and then I like slipped out the side because I didn't want them to see me leave. And I went to the office and I said, this is eugenics. Like, this is not right. You know, you guys should have a virtual option, but if not, like, you're not thinking about the parents. Like, I'm here, but like, I'm not even just saying this for me. I'm saying this for the people that are too sick to be here, or that are too uncomfortable to speak up. Like this, like I'm not even just like, I'm not trying to be a Karen. I'm just saying what's right and what's fair, and nobody thinks of us. And like, you know, it's been a long time. And one of the ladies in the office, she was so rude, and she's like, this is just the risk you take. Like, and you being in here right now, you're missing your kids. Like, instead of talking to me, you could be in there. And like, or you could have stayed home. Like, you knew the risk that you were taking. And she was like, and I'm not trying to be dismissive. I was like, frankly, that is very dismissive, and it's cruel. Like, what you're asking me is to stay home forever, to miss out on my children, like to not participate in life, just to be outside of society, just because like this is real consequences for me, so that other people can be comfortable. And like, she's like, there's like, you're taking risk wherever you go. I said, frankly, like there are ways that you can mitigate risk for people, like for everyone, but the risk is not the same for me and other people like me and people sicker than me, like who have been through things way worse than me, than someone who is perfectly healthy and hasn't had any major medical health emergencies or events in their life. Like nobody who's speaking for them, right? And she was just being so dismissive and getting loud with me. And I was like, look, I'm not even saying this about you. Like, I'm not saying this directly to you, but somebody has to say something, because if I don't, then they will say, why didn't you say anything? So I'm like, you're attacking me for speaking up. But then if I don't speak up, then the criticism will be, you didn't say anything, right? And I love that quote from Zora Neale Hurston. Like, if you're silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. And I don't consent. I don't consent to this. So that was my opportunity to say that. And then the other lady, like, I really hope she was being sincere. I have a hard time reading people sometimes. Like, I feel like she might have been, you know, that's part of my autism. Like, you know, and she was like, we really should have had a virtual option. We had one last year. Like, we didn't consider that, you know, and there's too many people to socially distance in the assembly room. And, you know, I'm sorry for that. And it's unfair. You know, we know that. And, you know, just like really trying to hear me out. But I'm like, oh, but I hope that you're not just saying that to get rid of me. You know, but it's just, it's a lot. It's exhausting. You know, and I know if I feel this way, there's so many of you out there who feel this way. And I'm like, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm just doing it because I need to get this off my chest. Like, it's a lot to carry every day. So like, if you're feeling like this, I just want you to know you are not alone, that I'm with you. Like, it's really hard to live this way. It's exhausting. Like, the days that I feel like I want to do things, I remember like, oh, well, where am I gonna go? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, that I can safely do without consequences that are outside of my home. You know, I live in Maryland. It's really cold out right now. I'm a Florida girl. Like, I grew up by the beach. I still haven't adjusted to this kind of weather. I'm doing the best I can. Like, that's part of, like, you know, not everybody is the same who has autism. Like, if you met one person with autism, you've met a person with autism, but like, I'm not flexible in that way, and I'm working on that. So I want to get out more. I want to do more things outdoors. But like, I'm getting cabin fever, and at the same time, I'm scared for my life. I'm scared for my babies. Like, I'm scared for my husband. But, you know, and I know he's not perfect, but like, he's got COVID fatigue, and like, sometimes I don't trust that like he's always doing the safest things, because like, he's just at that point where he was like, well, this is like what it's gonna be like. So I mean, I don't think he thinks about like what it feels like for me to hear him say that, because it feels really dismissive, like, of my real fear, like the real world consequences that has for me, because I've been so close to death more than once. And I want to be here. I want to be here for my babies. I have so much life to live, you know, and there was so long that I felt like I had nothing to live for, and I have so much to live for. I have so much hope for the future. Like, my children are such a gift. Anyway, like, that's another tangent, but I just needed to get that out. And, you know, if you're feeling this, like, just know you're not by yourself. Like, and like, you can talk to me. Like, I feel like, you know, I really need community around this. Like, because I know there are people that relate, and like, it would feel so good to, you know, I've met some people, but it would feel so good to have more people who truly get it, you know. It's really, really lonely. So, I mean, if you've made it this far, like, thanks for listening. If you didn't make it this far, like, thanks for clicking on the video. You know, I love you. I'm with you. I support you. I see you. Like, you're not invisible to me. And I just feel like, you know, somebody needed to hear that. So, I mean, I hope wherever you are that you're safe, that you're held, that you have the resources that you need. And, you know, reach out to me if you want to leave a comment. Like, it's no pressure at all. But, you know, just know that, like, things have to get better at this point, because like, they just can't go on like this. And hopefully with Pluto going into Aquarius, maybe things will get worse first, but, you know, maybe they'll get better, and hopefully we'll be around to see it. And I'm sorry if that sounds morbid. I have 8th house stellium, and, you know, I think that way. You know, but anyway, I'm gonna shut up now, and, you know, all right, I'm done. Catch you later. Bye.